Ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, my name is Nathalie Trott and I'm the Director of Development and Alumni Relations at Queen's. I'm delighted to welcome you to this very special celebration of philanthropy. Given the virtual nature of this event, it's a real pleasure to welcome Queen's donors and supporters from around the world. Whilst I am sad that we cannot convene in person, I'm thrilled that we can gather as a global community with limited environmental impact. I know we have people joining us from Canada and the US, so if anything, our circumstances have allowed even more of us than usual to gather for this event. Over the next short while, you will hear from colleagues and students about the transformative impact of your generosity. First, you will hear from Queen's President and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ian Greer, who will talk about matters COVID and how your support has enabled Queen's to do so much in that area over the last 6 months. We'll follow that with some personal thank you messages from beneficiaries of Queen's annual fund. Dr. Ultan Power, a world-class molecular virologist and respiratory expert, will share with you the breadth of the research being conducted at Queen's into COVID-19 and other respiratory infections. Then, Susan Wilson, Legacy Manager, will introduce a segment on the impact of legacy gifts and their importance to our research and academic colleagues. And finally, we'll close with some further messages from our wonderful students. So, let's get proceedings underway. I'm delighted to introduce Professor Ian Greer, President and Vice-Chancellor of Queen's, who has been leading the university through the challenges and uncertainty of the last 6 months, and, to use the sailing analogy, whose steady hand at the tiller will see us safely out the other side. Vice-Chancellor.
Thank you, Nathalie. I'm delighted to welcome you to this virtual benefactors event. Like so many other key university occasions during these last 7 months, this is, by necessity, a virtual one. So while we hope to meet in the splendour of Riddle Hall, today we come to you via Zoom and YouTube. Nonetheless, it's still important to celebrate your philanthropy over the last 12 months and to thank you for continuing to support this university, especially during these difficult times. I appreciate the many challenges that COVID-19 has placed on our students, staff and community since March, and I'll share with you some of the measures we're taking to safeguard students and staff who have just returned to campus for the new term. But first, I'd like to reflect on your response to the coronavirus pandemic. In short, your response and that of our staff and benefactors has been outstanding and very much appreciated. Thanks to philanthropy, we've been able to support the production of PPE within engineering and pharmacy for the NHS. We've been able to fund phase 1 of a research project looking into the effects of COVID-19 in children. And we've been able to launch a campaign to support research into the rehabilitation needs of thousands of people leaving critical care in hospital, which is the current priority of our Rapid Response Innovation Fund. All of this has been achieved through donations, large and small, from graduates, friends of the universities, and from corporate business, and indeed from our staff and students. It includes £28,000 of legacy funds donated recently through gifts and wills from alumni and friends and directed to support the fund. We also saw local musicians record a song, Broken Land, in tribute to our phenomenal NHS staff and key workers, and a wonderful drive-in cinema at the Titanic Quarter, all of which raised funds to help support Queen's research in the fight against COVID-19. Coronavirus may have taken over our lives for the last 7 months, but it hasn't dominated our fundraising. Your generosity has continued throughout the period, so much so that we've surpassed our target of £3.2 million by almost £500,000, which is simply outstanding. Thank you for this. One project that continues to capture imaginations is our Widening Participation initiative, and in particular, the Pathway Opportunity Programme. Your support gives the most able but least likely the chance to enjoy a university education. We welcomed our first cohort of 12 pathway students back in 2018, and I'm very proud that as they enter their third year, philanthropic support means that they've received a bursary each and every year. This year, we saw continued growth. 105 new students have joined us in the programme, and it's our aspiration to continue to support all students through all years as the programme continues to grow. We have many other scholarships and awards, funded by generous donors. I can assure you all that these are having a big impact on the students they support. I thank you for your generosity and your commitment. Soon after I joined the university 2 years ago, I outlined details of an exciting vision for a simulation centre at Queen's, a place where medical, nursing and health students could train together in interactive scenarios that closely replicate the clinical setting. I'm now delighted to update you with the news that building work is almost complete and that the building will be known as the Kien Chung SK Chin InterSim Centre in recognition of the parents of our lead donor. The coronavirus pandemic has reinforced the importance of simulated training. Our colleagues in medicine used existing simulation facilities to prepare final year medics, nursing and other healthcare professionals for frontline duties. In fact, Queen's staff were tireless in supporting the early graduation of our final year nursing, social work and medical cohorts. This enabled them to join the NHS workforce early during this critical time. And I'm delighted to say that these students who stepped up to the plate in this way were acknowledged as the 2020 Allied Irish Bank NI Queen's Student of the Year winners. Queen's is deeply indebted to all of those who made gifts to the InterSim Centre and for helping to turn a vision into a reality. This year, we're celebrating the 175th anniversary of teaching, research and academic excellence here at Queen's, a celebration of our contribution to our society and our economy in Belfast, Northern Ireland and across the globe. For this unique and unusual academic year, it remains our hope that our students will be able to enjoy real and meaningful time on campus, with as much of the authentic student experience that you enjoyed, so far as we can safely deliver. As we work hard to be creative about giving them the very best at Queen's, the university is grateful for the support, consistency and flexibility that your philanthropy enables. I look forward to welcoming you back to campus soon and to a more traditional celebration of philanthropy. Meantime, I wish you, your families and your friends good health in the times ahead. Thank you.
Before we hear from some of our students, let's have a look at how you took action in recent months through the Rapid Response Innovation Fund. With over 500 donations in 7 weeks, your speed to respond and generosity of spirit should be celebrated. Bringing together new supporters and existing donors from around the world to support the university in its response to the ever-changing challenges of COVID-19. This is your philanthropy in action. When we asked our students to be involved in this next sequence, they responded immediately. Queen's Annual Fund has been delivering on its mission to enhance the student experience for over 20 years. The continued support of alumni and friends provides life-changing experiences and opportunities for students within sports, science, arts, culture, mental health, and much more. Without your help, many of these projects would simply not happen. These messages should give you a little insight into how important gifts to the annual fund are.
I would like to offer my sincere thanks to the Queen's Annual Fund for supporting our event. It was a fantastic event and has set the precedent for years to come. The conference gave students at Queen's University Belfast for the very first time a hands-on experience with 4 different surgical subspecialties. It was an action-packed day aimed at giving medical students a glimpse of what it's like to be a surgeon. Thank you for helping us help the surgeons of tomorrow.
Hi, my name's Marie and I study criminology and sociology. I'm also part of the judo club here at Queen's. The Queen's Annual Fund sponsored our club's entry to the All-Ireland Judo InterVarsity this year. We had a great haul of medals, winning 1 gold, 3 silver and 4 bronze medals. So on behalf of the Queen's Judo Club, I'd like to thank all of the supporters and donors of the QAF. This is the only competition we join as a club, and we couldn't afford to join this year. So thank you so much for choosing to help us.
Hi, I'm Dan. I was on the MA Creative Writing programme this year and was fortunate enough to participate in the Showcase podcast that was made by the Seamus Heaney Centre. It was a great opportunity to have extracts of our work read out by professional actors, and the podcast format has meant that more people have been able to engage with it than if it was just a live showcase. For all of us budding writers, it's important to be getting work out there, and this accessible podcast is a great calling card to be able to show people. I would like to say a big thank you to all of the donors and supporters of the Queen's Annual Fund, without whom this project would not have been made possible.
Thank you to all our donors in Queen's Annual Fund and to the student callers who contact you during our telephone campaigns. Our next speaker is Professor Ultan Power. Many of you will have seen and heard Ultan on our TVs and radios in the early stages of the pandemic. Ultan is Professor of Molecular Virology at Queen's in the School of Medicine, Dentistry and Biomedical Sciences. Just last month, Professor Power said he was cautiously optimistic that there may be a COVID-19 vaccine by the end of the year, but much depends on the clinical trials currently underway. Listen to Ultan now as he reflects on how this devastating pandemic has galvanised scientific research endeavour throughout the world.
December 2019 saw the introduction of a new virus to the human population in Wuhan, China, called SARS-CoV-2. This virus, which causes COVID-19 disease, has since gone on to cause a once-in-a-century pandemic. From the small initial outbreak in China involving just a few people, it has rapidly spread throughout the world, causing health and economic devastation everywhere. Governments worldwide have been forced to respond to this major public health crisis by drastic curtailments on freedom of movement and massive realignment of health services to cope with the huge numbers of COVID-19 patients. As we enter the foothills of a second wave in the UK in September 2020, the virus has just claimed its 1 millionth victim. However, this devastating pandemic has galvanized scientific research endeavour throughout the world. There is an unprecedented level of cooperation and collaboration between scientists and clinicians, with research discoveries regularly reported in the lay press and online in preprints almost as soon as they are made. The investments worldwide in drug discovery to treat COVID-19 have been massive, and these have already resulted in the discovery of drugs that diminish the mortality rate. Similarly, vaccine development is happening at an unprecedented speed, such that evidence that a vaccine might work may be available before the end of the year, a mere 12 months since the virus was discovered. To put this vaccine development speed into context, the fastest vaccine development heretofore was the mumps vaccine, which took 4 years to complete. We in Queen's are playing a significant part in researching solutions to treat COVID-19 disease. In a project funded by UKRI, MRC, our virology team in the Wellcome Wilson Institute for Experimental Medicine, in collaboration with colleagues from the Patrick G. Johnston Centre for Cancer Research, is screening over 2,000 drugs in multiple combinations to determine if they have the potential to treat COVID-19. Over 500,000 drug combinations will be screened. Initial efforts were designed to screen antiviral activity against SARS-CoV-2. To do this, we have established the only biosafety level 3 laboratory in Northern Ireland capable of working with infectious virus. In parallel with this antiviral drug screening project, we are also seeking to identify drugs that can block the inflammatory responses induced following infection. Indeed, there is a clear scientific consensus worldwide that the inflammation triggered by the infection is what causes most of the tissue damage in severe COVID-19. Therefore, identifying drug combinations that block virus infection and diminish the inflammatory response is likely to have the greatest impact in treating COVID-19 disease. To do this, we have established novel SARS-CoV-2 infection models in the laboratory that reflect closely the infection of the airways in humans. We will use highly sophisticated techniques such as transcriptomics and proteomics to dissect the inflammatory responses induced following airway infection and thereby identify targets for drug intervention capable of blocking or reversing this disease-causing inflammation. We expect that the combination of the antiviral and anti-inflammatory drugs discovered in this research project will have a major impact on treating COVID-19 disease. Our discoveries will be forwarded rapidly to our clinical colleagues with a view to initiating clinical trials on the best drug combinations. Our research on SARS-CoV-2 and COVID-19 has been possible because of our extensive experience with another major respiratory virus called respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. RSV is the most important viral cause of severe lower respiratory tract infections in infants worldwide, including bronchiolitis and pneumonia. Many of the techniques and infection models in use for our SARS-CoV-2 research were possible because of our expertise in RSV research. As a result, we are at the forefront worldwide of research on respiratory virus infections, their interactions with human airway epithelium, the generation of a greater understanding of how these viruses cause disease, and devising drug interventions to help treat these diseases. The impact of my work is only possible through ongoing financial support. Philanthropic support for my work has been received from the QUB Foundation, the general public, and my own friends and family.
What a fascinating insight into how Queen's is playing such a significant part in researching solutions to treat COVID-19 disease. Well, we're over halfway through our virtual thank you event. It's amazing just to see how many ways Queen's graduates and supporters are so involved in the day-to-day life of the university. I'd like now to introduce you to one of my team, Susan Wilson, who is going to give you an update on legacy giving to Queen's.
In the last 6 years, legacy income of over £8 million from friends and alumni in Northern Ireland and across the world has helped change lives. This year, Queen's welcomed 31 individuals into our family of legacy pledgers. Through a gift in their will, these graduates and friends are choosing to support areas of research or education that they are passionate about. Our legacy pledgers are demonstrating their trust and hope that the impact of Queen's research and education may continue to change lives long into the future. One of these legacy gifts was from Queen's graduate Alexander Leckie from Belfast. Alexander studied arts and theology, and in his will he named the Queen's Foundation as a beneficiary. He stipulated that his gift was to be unrestricted, meaning that the Queen's Foundation should decide how best to use it to fund the most urgent and impactful areas of need at the time it was necessary. Thanks to this wonderful legacy, The team at Queen's was able to use funding of almost £142,000 to support COVID-19 related or COVID affected projects. If you are one of our family of legacy pledgers, or you are thinking of leaving a gift in your will to support Queen's, thank you.
In April, Cancer Research UK took the very difficult decision to reduce the value of grants for a team of 7 Queen's researchers in the Patrick Johnston Cancer Centre due to the impact of the pandemic. Nearly 10,000 people are diagnosed with cancer every year in Northern Ireland. Applying our research to trials and treatments has a direct impact in improving patient outcomes and their quality of life. The Queen's Foundation used £60,000 from Alexander's legacy to enable staff to go back to the research labs in June and July and continue on with their life-saving work in esophageal, colon, bowel, breast and ovarian cancers.
I run a research group at the Patrick G. Johnston Centre for Cancer Research at Queen's in Belfast, which investigates ways to improve treatment options for patients diagnosed with cancer, both here in Northern Ireland and around the world. As with everyone in society over the past 6 months, our day-to-day lives have been completely changed due to COVID-19. The pandemic has disrupted all aspects of our cancer-related work, particularly our clinical trials and our laboratory-based research aimed at developing and testing of new drugs for cancer patients. While we certainly feel many disappointments due to lost time this year, the situation has also thrown up opportunities that give us optimism in so many areas. A lot of our research involves the analysis of data, and as such, this computational biology has been able to maintain a steady pace during the pandemic. Working from home has given us an opportunity to comprehensively analyse data that has emerged from our cancer clinical trials and our experiments run here in Belfast. This, in turn, has enabled us to validate the benefit of different treatment options and approaches to patients, and also to write up papers so that this new understanding can be disseminated to scientists and clinicians around the world. One thing that has been highlighted is that cancer research is reliant on the charitable sector for its support. And while we receive government funding from organisations like the Medical Research Council, the majority of my team are supported by charities such as Cancer Research UK and the Queen's University Belfast Foundation. Fundraising during this time has been significantly hit, with Cancer Research UK anticipating at least a £140 million reduction in their income this year alone. As a result, we have had significant reductions in our budgets, which inevitably slow down progress towards improving treatment options for patients.
We are hugely grateful for this support from one of our graduates during such a difficult time. It has meant that we can continue to tackle cancer in spite of unforeseen circumstances. In June, Alexander's gift also helped fund a leading-edge research project at the Wellcome Wilson Institute for Experimental Medicine to address how COVID-19 affects children. The findings were vital in estimating the proportion of children that have been exposed to the virus and how many have the necessary antibodies to prevent future reinfection. Currently, Alexander's gift is enabling Queen's to purchase equipment to support medical priorities, including COVID-19 research work in a wide variety of cell-based fields under the vision of world-renowned academic Professor Ultan Power.
When Alexander left a gift in his will to support the future work of Queen's, he ignited change. What is the one change you want to see in the world? There has never been a more vital time to invest in the life of the university. Whatever you are passionate about, we will help you achieve the change you want to see by tackling these challenges head on.
100% of your legacy gift will be spent here in Northern Ireland to support life-changing research and education with local and global impact.
When you choose to leave a charitable legacy gift, you choose to become part of the solution. You change lives.
Thank you, Susan, Chris and Philip, for spelling out the importance of legacy giving. Earlier, the Vice-Chancellor talked about widening participation and our Pathway Opportunity programme. Joining the programme in Year 13, Students are supported and encouraged to meet their academic potential along their selected subject pathway, culminating hopefully in them joining Queen's on completion of their A-levels. It's difficult to stress in such a short time frame as this just how important the Pathway programme is, or the impact that our donors, including corporate supporter and provider of all first-year bursaries, the Killwater Group, have been on the lives of our students. But don't just take my word for it. Listen now to some of our students on the programme and the difference it has made to them.
I think confidence was the main thing that I took away from the programme. The bursary has made a huge difference, not only to me but a lot of other students. We always chat about how we're feeling so much more at ease compared to other students. Me personally, I used it for living in secure student accommodation. Coming to uni, the student loan doesn't really cover that much. So knowing I had the bursary to help me just live comfortably was a really big weight off my shoulders. Knowing when I was in school with the grade reduction and with the bursary, it was a lot of weight off my shoulders. It was, because A-levels are hard enough and school is hard enough as it is without those extra added pressures. So having the Pathway programme was really, really beneficial. I would describe my Pathway experience as challenging, prosperous and exciting.
Hi, I'm Patrick Hamill and I'm a third year computer science student at Queen's. I would just like to say a big thank you for your support to the Pathway Opportunity Programme. It has been instrumental in them providing excellent support to the current students, and I wouldn't be where I am today without it. Thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Evan Leslie. I've just started my second year of law here at Queen's, and I just want to come and say thank you very much for your continued support of the programme. It's really made a huge difference in my life. It's really helped me gain that last step towards independence, and has really helped me out of a lot of difficult times whilst trying to manage finances in uni. So thank you so much for your continued support of the programme.
I'm Natasha Moffat and I'm currently studying International Business with Spanish. I would like to say thank you very much for the generous gift of the bursary, which helped me buy a computer this year, which was extremely useful during the lockdown period where I was able to do online exams. I would also like to say thank you for the Pathway programme, which helped me make new friends and better understand my course, which made it so much easier to transition into university. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Black and I'm studying Global Politics at QUB. I live in North Belfast with my mum and younger sister Cara. I would just like to express my gratitude to all those involved with the Pathway programme and thank the donors who through their generosity have supported their work. Currently, because of COVID-19, we are engaging in more remote learning, and in order to get the most of this process you need the right equipment, good picture quality and more importantly good audio. Because of the generosity of the donors, I am currently in the process of buying a new computer. My old computer I am given to my sister who is currently studying for her A-levels, so you've helped the both of us. So once again, I would just like to say a big thank you to the donors for helping people like me and my sister with our education.
My name is Michelle Edwards and I'm a third year law and Spanish student. I would like to thank you so much for your donation. I've been able to go and live in Spain for a month and work. I've been able to buy things like textbooks and even clothes for a legal work experience. So thank you guys so much, it really means a lot.
Hi guys, my name's Eamon Moan and I'm doing Molecular Virology with Professional Studies at Queen's University Belfast. I just came on here today to thank you all so much for your £1,000 gift. It has really helped me in my time in university, especially during first year, to get me all set up with all the things I needed, like computers and all the textbooks and stuff we had to buy. It really helped us. The Pathway Opportunity Programme is also an amazing programme as well, so it is. It really helped me enhance my skills and gave me a really good head start for my first year at uni there. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for everything. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Neve O'Brien and I'm a final year student in Queen's. I study biological science and I got into my degree with the help of the Pathway Opportunity Programme. So I joined the Pathway Programme in sixth form, and throughout my entire degree I have heavily relied on it and it has helped me a lot. Academic support that the Pathway programme has offered has been a great help to me getting through my degree, as well as financial support. In terms of financial support, I cannot say thank you enough. It has helped me make the most of my degree. It's helped me live in Belfast, so I can live close to uni, live close to campus. It's allowed me to take up opportunities that I probably previously couldn't have taken up. For example, last summer I got to go on a study tour to London, and I got to visit various pharmaceutical companies and scientific research companies, and it really helped me see where I wanted to go with my degree. Without the funding I've received, I probably wouldn't have been able to take up these trips and opportunities. It's allowed me to buy my own textbooks, which something that's so trivial sounds silly, but it's a really nice feeling to not have to borrow everything from the library. But the pathway overall has just totally helped me get through my degree, and I always feel like I've somewhere to go. I began Queen's knowing that I was familiar with the programme. I never felt nervous. I owe a massive thank you, and I can't say thanks enough.
The message I would have for donors and graduates who have supported the Pathway programme is just a huge thank you. It really makes a huge difference to everyday life, the time and support us students receive during the Pathway Opportunity programme. Thank you so much.
Hearing directly from those impacted by your generosity makes my job and that of my team in the Development and Alumni Relations Office so very worthwhile. That's more or less it for this, our first foray into the virtual benefactors celebration. All that remains for me is to thank all of you who continue to support Queen's so generously, all those who participated in this evening of celebration, and those who have helped in the production of this video. Let me leave you with this thought. Over his lifetime, Chuck Feeney and his foundation, the Atlantic Philanthropies, set about giving away his £6 billion fortune. Queen's has benefited to the tune of almost £100 million over the years, and we're truly grateful for his support. Many of you will have noticed, I'm sure, that Atlantic Philanthropies closed its doors a few weeks ago. Job done. Chuck advocated a philosophy of giving while living, so let me leave you with his words. Today's needs are so great and varied that intelligent philanthropic support and positive interventions can have greater value and impact today than if they are delayed when the needs are greater. Thank you for listening to our grateful thank you messages, for your generosity to Queen's, and for your support of our continued endeavours. I wish you and those you love well, and hope we meet again before too long.